Joe Biggs here with Infowars.com. Now we're standing in downtown Philadelphia, right outside of where the Liberty Bell is in Independence Hall. Now we have a large gathering of Black Lives Matter. We're going to go over and talk to these guys and ask them why they're here and what they want to talk about. So why are you guys out here today, sir?
Well, we're supporting the Black Lives Matter movement for our church, the Unitarian Society of Germantown.
So what's the message you're trying to get across?
We're suggesting that all lives matter, especially Black lives, who even blacks have been treated unfairly throughout history, and we're trying to make sure that they are treated equally to whites.
So with that counter argument right here, you know, one of the major issues that I hear with Black Lives Matter is the fact that police officers are killing these guys in record numbers. But if you actually look at the amount of black-on-black crimes in Chicago, it's no comparison. There's way more. If we took every person who'd been killed by a cop and multiplied it by 14, you still wouldn't even be able to amount the amount of black-on-black crimes in Chicago that have happened this year alone.
Well, you know, there's no hiding the fact that there are black-on-black crimes, but on the other hand, our police are supposed to respect the laws and the people of the within the country, and they shouldn't be shooting people indiscriminately.
When you talk about black-on-black crime, you got to speak about the conditions that create that. We always speak about black-on-black crime. We don't talk about lack of opportunity, lack of jobs. In our neighborhood, young folks in our neighborhood have no jobs. So the black market and drugs are the jobs. You walk through North Philadelphia where I live at, all the stores are owned by Hispanics, Asians, and whites. And so we can't employ our young people. So when they fight and they kill and they murder each other, it's a condition created by society.
I mean, we've got a black president. He was successful. He came out and did something. We have an attorney general. I've got a lot of buddies who are black who are very successful, who have pulled themselves out of those situations and done something with themselves. So I think it's an individual choice whether or not you want to stay and be around that or you want to go and do something. Because it's the land of opportunity. Everybody in America has the opportunity to make something. Yeah, you do. You just have to get up and do it. You can sit here and you can have these invisible chains created by the government, or you can go out there and actually bust your butt and say, I don't want to be part of this, and go out and make something in your life.
Yes, many folks do that. You know, many folks in our community go to school, they work hard, and they move forward.
So, but then why should the ones who aren't willing to go out that, why should we have to march for that? If you want to go out and do something, then great. But if you don't and something bad happens and you turn to violence and being a criminal, then I don't see why we should be marching in the streets. What we should be marching in the streets for is the fact that there are over 40,000 people since 2015 to now that have been murdered by radical Islamic terrorists. Why is no one marching in the streets about that?
That's something that could also be marched for. But what we're talking about is in white suburban communities, when a white family is stopped by the police, they're in no danger of being shot. And that's the reality of it.
That's not true. I've had a cop draw a gun on me in El Paso, one in Dallas, and I've had it happen in South Carolina in, it's called, what is it called? Clover, South Carolina.
We're still here to talk about it. How many young black men have been stopped by the police and now they're in the ground?
But how many people have you also seen in those videos that counteract that, reaching for something in their pocket when they're told not to move? I mean, that's something that happens.
Then you hit them with a taser.
This week?
Not this week. I've been in the RNC, so I'm traveling around. Yeah, sure, come on.
Okay, so from cradle to grave.
Wait, was it the guy that was laying on the ground? Laying
With
on the
his
ground?
hands up.
Okay, yeah, that's a bad thing.
Yeah. So look, violence is too prevalent in America. Everybody's affected by it. People of color are disproportionately affected by it. Yes, they're involved in all different angles. If that many white people were being killed, folks would be more focused on it.
There's more white people that are killed by cops.
But okay, let me say the United States of America has more people in prison than any country in the world.
I agree with that. Yeah.
The charging of the crimes and the sentencing are disproportionately slanted against people of color.
Well, I think we should get it. I think we should make marijuana legal. I think that's stupid that people should be in jail for something like that.
Okay, well, I agree with you on that. But there are many public school systems in America that are failing. People of color are disproportionately affected by that. The poverty, the gap between the poor and the rich is growing. People of color are disproportionately affected by that. We want to make it better for everybody.
Well, Bernie Sanders says if you're white, you don't know what it's like to be poor. But I used to be poor. I used to live in a trailer.
Tons of white people know what it's like to be poor, and we want to fight for everybody to have a chance.
So you're talking about North Philadelphia. This has been a democratically run city for a long time. Do you think there's any correlation between poverty all over in some of these cities and the Democratic Party running them and trying to create an environment where people they depend on the government for everything that they get?
Well, not just that. The problem in the city of Philadelphia is the community does not hold politicians accountable. We've had black Democratic politicians in this town forever. And from term to term, they're there. They're not responsive to our needs. They only come around every 4 years. And it's a travesty. We need to hold folks accountable who are in office.
Yeah,
that's the major problem in the city of Philadelphia.
Is you're continuing to elect Democrats to run these cities. Look at Chicago, a Democrat run. Look at Baltimore. Look at Philadelphia. Look at all these areas. You continue to vote these same people in, these same leadership.
We're not the Democratic Party.
Well, no, but I know, but
We're nonpartisan.
well, I'm saying mostly that it continues to happen. So I'm saying Philadelphians. I'm talking about Chicagoans. I'm talking about
I'm Reverend Kent Mathias, a Unitarian Universalist minister in Philadelphia. Who are you?
I'm Joe Biggs. I'm an American.
And who are you with?
I'm with America.
Infowars.com. Who is Infowars? I just want to get who are you? I don't want to know who you are.
We are a libertarian website.
Okay.
So.
Okay, that's fine. So.
Well, here's my thing, though. Is what I want just to
go
back to
ahead,
that.
Go ahead.
I'm not saying you are specifically a Democrat, but if you look at these cities that are run mostly by Democrats, Chicago, Baltimore, and all that, that's where you have the most violence. That's where you have the most poverty. That's where you have the most killings and things like that. Don't you think it'd be time to kind of maybe switch things up?
To what?
To something different, because apparently, yeah, but this way hasn't worked. Everyone.
Not the solution.
Yeah, what
The solution is to.
Well, I'm saying to stop voting for people like Hillary Clinton and things like that.
Wait. Let me start. Okay, so the unemployment rate is below 5 with Barack Obama as president. The Dow is at 19. Interest rates are as low as they've ever been. So that's a Democratic president. So what gas prices are extremely low. Are you giving credit to Barack Obama for any of that?
But he's a black guy. I thought he was treated bad. I thought black people weren't able to.
No. You're talking to me. I'm talking to you. All those things are happening right now with Democratic.
And that's my point.
Black leadership.
That's my point with Black Lives Matter is you can have black leadership in America who are at the highest levels right now making changes. So the entire argument that there's all these poor.
You're talking about Democratic leadership is bad for the country or something. Barack Obama, we have all those good things happening. What do you think?
What do you think about
who
Barack?
Who gets credit for that? Who gets credit for under 5% unemployment rate? Who gets credit for that?
People getting up and doing their job.
Who gets credit for
Oh, right.
that George Bush left and Obama straightened out?
Oh, George Bush, I don't like him. I thought he was a dirtbag. He's a war criminal. I think Obama's a war criminal as well.
We don't have to spend a lot of time.
You got any other points you want to make too as well?
Because we don't want. We're not here for long. We'd be glad to talk to you more another time because we want to be talking to a lot of people. Seriously. And here's my card. I'll give you my card.
Cool.
If anytime you guys want to talk, seriously, I'm glad to talk to you.
Do you have anything else you want to add before we take off?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Yeah. And I don't mean to cut you off.
Okay.
But go ahead.
I think the reality is, some of the points I agree with you're saying about how politics run in this country. In Philadelphia, we have a small organization called the Bloc Party. It stands for Build, Labor, Organize, Campaign. And that's open for Democrats, Republicans, Green Party, Libertarians, everybody who really wants to see community involvement, community support, and real government. Employment, and folks who are willing to work together for a better community. We aren't doing that now. I've appreciated some of the things that Obama has done as a president, something I don't agree with. I hated George Bush as a president. We need to look at holding politicians accountable and crafting candidates who really support the people. So what you really need is another political system.
Well, yeah, the two-party system sucks. I mean, you get stuck between a crap sandwich a lot of times.
In the unions, we talk about this all the time. The unions in the big cities you're talking about cause plenty. They do some good things, but they cause plenty of problems.
I support unions though because you need unions in terms of,
I do too, but sometimes
benefits
they're too
and workers.
aggressive and manipulative of their tactics. You know.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Well, cool, guys. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
And thank you.
Go ahead. Yep. Sorry, I thought you were going to say
What's your
more.
name?
Rob Dew.
Rob Kent.
Yeah. All right, Ken. Nice to
All
meet
right,
you.
man. Are you guys Philly?
No, Austin, Texas.
Oh, really? Okay, man. Welcome to Philly, brother.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Well, this has been Joe Biggs with Infowars.com. The beginning of the DNC starts tomorrow. Stay tuned for more reports at Infowars.com.
Brain Force is here. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been on this the last few months. You probably noticed I've been more crazed, more focused, less brain fog, more energy, more special reports, and it's because of Brain Force.
One of the worst things with most energy products is it's not sustainable, right? You're gonna crash, you're gonna feel really bad afterwards. This has a bunch of different antioxidants and compounds and polyphenols.
Everybody's on these drugs to knock their brain out because the brain's so fried.
We kept changing this formula over and over and over again until it became sort of a grand puzzle. For example, the L-theanine inside of it, that is activated by the different compounds in the yerba mate that we put inside of it as well. This just increases the compounds you already have.
This is what you're actually designed to run on.
Exactly.
It's kind of like a car will run on one form of junkie gas, but it runs really good on what it's designed for. You will find Brain Force, Survival Shield X2, and other game-changing products at InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.